What up, y'all? This is Daniel Carbael. This is my YouTube channel, Daniel Carbael Music. I'm currently in the process of reinstalling everything on my computer. I recently had a hard drive malfunction, so I had to get that replaced, and ever since then my computer just hasn't really been working 100%. It's taking me 1,000 years to do any basic edits in Final Cut for these videos and everything. So I decided let's just go on and format it, get rid of everything, reinstall it. But while that's doing that, I just want to do this quick video talking about the music scene in general. And I can't speak for places that I haven't lived and I haven't participated in the music scene, but I will speak on places that I have lived, and especially the place that I currently am now, which is Boston. The music scene here, in one word, is kind of broken. Basically, it's really hard for bands or artists or anything to actually come up and break out of that first starting level. And I've played in a bunch of bands and with a bunch of projects and with a bunch of artists here in Boston, and I think the story has kind of been unanimously similar. The thing about Boston is Boston's a really saturated city with musicians, with producers, with engineers and artists and everything. There's so many schools here that it just brings a whole bunch of people trying to do the same thing, which has its upsides and its downsides. Upsides being there's a lot of people to collaborate with. Downsides being there's a lot of people to be in competition with. So I just want to focus on kind of what we can use that's already in place to just help make this scene better and profitable for people who are here. There's so many people that we can collaborate with. I think one of the big things that we don't do enough of is collaborating with other artists that we feel are on the same level as us career-wise, doing the same type of thing, you know. There's not a lot of collaboration between, front people in bands. There's not a lot of collaboration between, say, the singer-songwriter of this group and another singer-songwriter of another group. And I think a big important thing, and I've had a lot of conversations about this recently, but is just helping each other out. You know, it's not a bad thing to try to help out someone else, and it will come back around in some way or another and help you out. Basically, I think there's a couple of things in addition that we can do to kind of help this scene actually go to its full potential. One is actually staying committed to projects. I don't think anyone in general has stayed committed to projects in the way that's actually required to get projects moving and off the ground. There's so many of this whole thing of oh, I joined this band, we throw together some music, we have a couple rehearsals, we play a show at this venue or that venue, and if you're from Boston, you know those type of venues that are pretty much revolving doors of bands playing their first, second, or third show. And what happens then is because it stops becoming profitable. And I don't mean profitable in terms of money, because if two people are coming to see your show, then you're not going to make money anyway. I mean profitable as far as time and experience and actually trying to get a fan base together. Venues here don't make it really easy to go out and play a show. I've never played a venue that's had a backline, and even something as simple as a drum kit with no cymbals. Never played a venue in Boston with a backline. Bass amp, no way. Guitar amp, no way. And then what happens is every time we have to get 4 or 5 of our buddies together to load up an entire drum set, 2 guitar amps, a bass amp, a keyboard, all your gear and everything into the back of a taxi-cab. You have to load all your gear and everything into the back of a taxi cab, pay the guy, however much it costs to get there, unload all of your gear, go in, play your show, load up your gear again, get outside and wait for another cab. You're starting to make it not worth it to go out and play gigs. And I think that's kind of what's happening is people are starting these projects, they're going out, everyone's first show is not well attended. That's the simple fact of the matter. It's never going to be well attended unless you're hooked on to something else that's bigger. I think people give up after that. After doing 2 or 3 of those shows at these revolving door venues, they say, you know what, like, oh man, I don't want to transport my stuff anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It's too much work and the payout's not enough. We need to stick with it. you know, if we believe in a project, we really need to stick with it. And if we don't believe in a project, find a project you do believe in. It's much harder to actually put yourself into a situation where you're benefiting when you don't really believe in the project in the first place. That's one. Number two is, let's kind of, as a whole, try to make these venues less of this revolving door situation. And good examples of this, I feel, are certain places around town that will almost do like artist residencies, where they will have an artist and their band pretty much there every week for a month, or bi-weekly for 2 months, or something like that. And other people can come and almost do open mic type things, but the big feature of this is the headlining band that has the residency. When you have a steady, reasonably steady gig, people know because they've seen your name attached to this venue more than once. There's a couple places doing that, but I think generally we kind of have to start setting up that regularity a little bit more, because I think that's the key to actually establishing some sort of baseline success. So communicating with booking agents, communicating with venue owners, and making this happen so that it's not just a, oh, my band has our first show, we got slapped onto some lineup with 4 other bands that sound absolutely nothing like us and whose fans are going to hate our music completely. Let's try to get some continuity here. Let's work together and actually make this thing work out. Also, as far as specifically bringing your music to a fan base of real people, as in not just advertising to your other musician friends on Facebook, we really need to stop this whole bands getting together, playing one show, and breaking up thing. I think that's one of the big things that's kind of screwing up a lot of potential opportunities, even for people who do actually have the commitment and everything. You're lumped into this same category as these bands who are playing their first show, are under-rehearsed, their material's not really that well thought out, they don't have a fan base either. Even if you are serious and you have been doing it for a while, in the eyes of the audience, in the eyes of the venue owners and booking management and everything like that, you're still at the same level as those guys. And they'll view you as that. And especially from the audience perspective, if there's a random show at one of these random venues, you're probably not going to go to it, because you're going to expect 4 or 5 bands to get up on stage that aren't doing anything really unique because they haven't even been together long enough to figure out what it is that they actually do. And I think also something we really miss out on when kind of setting up the ideology for our performances and for our band and everything is this whole concept that when people come to see you play, yes, I guess they can enjoy your music and they can enjoy what you're doing, but what they really want to enjoy is stepping foot out of their house to actually physically go somewhere. And if your performance and if the vibe that you're putting off at the venue is less enticing than, say, going to a Starbucks and getting a coffee, no one's gonna come to your shows. The shows that I personally have seen and then checked out the band and gone to see another show from the same band are shows where I had a better time there than I would have anywhere else. And a lot of the time that just has to do with the band being charismatic and wanting their audience to have a good time. You know, not necessarily forcing your music down your audience's throat and saying, love me because I'm an artist. It's saying, listen, you know, I really don't care if you think my music is God's gift to man or anything, but that doesn't mean that we can't all get together, play some music, have a good time. I think that's really kind of the key to breaking out of this stagnant monotony that we've kind of developed in the music scene now. Basically, with Boston being home to so many artists and so many people that are in the entertainment field, or at least trying to break into the entertainment field, there's no reason why it can't be a central hub of entertainment and of a music scene and of an arts scene. If not just on the East Coast, nationally, internationally, why not? There's no reason. There really isn't. There's so many talented people here. And it just takes kind of everyone starting to work together to this one common goal. And I think with a lot of hard work, that is totally a possibility. Until next time, thanks for watching. And feel free to check out any of my other videos, leave a comment, send me a message, and I'll get back to you when I can. Thanks.